This is Duduspreeofficial FM, an African radio.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you to this edition of African Youth Parliament. This is the feedback button. Okay, it's always a pleasure to be on this show, and I welcome everybody who has decided to join us today. It is always a pleasure to have you here, and I say a very big thank you to everybody. Once again, I say a very big thank you to Duduspreeofficial FM, Duduspreeofficial Media House, the first and only truly Pan-African media house. It is a pleasure to be an African. It is a thing of pride and joy. And every day, my pride as an African goes bigger and firmer and bolder. And I'm a very happy African. So I say a very big congratulations to every African out there. And to everybody who is listening to us live on radio, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you may be, say a very big thank you to you. It is always a pleasure to have you in the house. Without you, we will not come here. Our audience are very wonderful. They are very important to us. And to everybody who has joined us on today's show live, and yes, those listening to us on the Clubhouse too, we say a very big thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Duduspreeofficial, and yes, this is African Youth Parliament. African Youth Parliament, where we talk about the issues facing Africa, the issues Africa is facing, the things that concern Africa. You know, everybody shares their opinion in every language possible, in any language possible. But if it is speech, if not pidgin, you speak, join us on African Youth Parliament. If it is just the English, yes, join us on African Youth Parliament. Be Yoruba, so join us on African Youth Parliament. Even if it is Igbo, Hausa, Swahili, any Zimbabwean language, any language of your choice, please join us on African Youth Parliament. It is always a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you very much. I am your honorable speaker, Damine. And here we have very wonderful panelists. Sorry. So we have two panelists in the house. We have Ajokeade Ifamuyiwa, our grand shaker of the table. Whenever she touches the table must shake, even if it is with a little finger. Yes, and then we have Omobaluaye. He is also here to bring some things to light. And yes, that is what we are going to do today. So now, that is the gbege of the day. So quickly, let you know what the gbege of the day is here continually. Yeah, today, Africa, for the third time, for the third week, Africa is saying no to Western education. Yes, right to say Africa, say no to Western education. Western education has brought us down in several ways. It has brought us down in different ways. We've learned things that we don't need. And with the things we need, we're not even learning them at all. And that is so displeasing, you know. And we want you to know that it is not nice at all. And that is why we're here to say, Africa, please say no to Western education. So thank you very much. So now quickly, because of our time, I want to go straight to Shey Una No Go Wake Up by our very own Ajokeade. We want to wake up. This is the wake up call for every African out there, whichever country you may be, wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing, wherever you may be. So we want to do that so that we can straight go to the Yarn Your Mind by the panelists in the house, then the Pepper Soup segment by King Phoenix or any freestyle artist in the house. So if you're a freestyle artist and you like to feature on this show, please reach out to us. You can reach out, you can comment on the YouTube, we'll get back to you. You can go to www.duduspreeofficial.com. We will see there. There's a place there where you can definitely message us directly. You can chat us up directly. You can comment on Twitter. We'll get back to you. On the Clubhouse, you can comment. If you're a freestyle artist, you want to communicate with songs, you want to give us a taste of your pepper soup, let us have you in the house. It will be a very grand pleasure. So quickly, let us have the Shey Una No Go Wake Up by Ajokeade Ifamuyiwa. Thank you very much, Ajokeade. Let us have it.
Okay, great one. And somehow, if you don't dey roll and rap with people like King Phoenix, somehow you yourself go dey rap. Orúkọ mi ni Àjọkẹ́, and I'm here to do wetin wake una up. Welcome. And now somebody challenge us, and he say Africa na burial ground. Egba. Okay, I dey find them. Okay. So he says Africa is burial ground.
Africa is a cemetery for Africans. When an African becomes rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatments. He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome or Mecca. His children study in Europe. He travels to Canada, the USA, and Europe for tourism. When he dies, he will be buried in his native country. Africa is a cemetery for Africans. How then can a...
Okay, no be me talk calm. You don't see this guy where they worry the whole world. Now he talk and say Africa na cemetery is a burial ground. Sure, now no go wake up. They don't give it to you back to back. But I mean, Putin na he talk and say Africa na cemetery and burial ground for everybody wait there on top that side. Some of us wait there diaspora where think say we don't jackpot, you don't reach where you think say nothing if you reach you, but somehow just look at it. That's actually our story. And there's actually statistics where you might not even know now. And it's the fact that every child where you they give birth to on top of Odo Imbo land from now, in fact, maybe say they never reach Africa, they may never reach Africa. In fact, their bones are not likely to even be carried down. Many thanks to all the African diasporas who are coming back home. Great one to you, because you are proving people like Vladimir Putin wrong that Africa is not the cemetery for us. And as we can't go, Naya contact you can I see something where we say Naira Ibrahim Toure where they do waiting. Thomas Sakara don't say you go do that time where they no allow him do. And this one adjusts the tomato paste. Imagine this century na tomato paste company. We just they start as a whole country. This one turns up to Burkina Faso. They say now when you wake up, now him be your money. Good morning to those who are in Burkina Faso. Every other country on top Africa, where we say they see they fight, killy, and worry, and they think of fighting for one God where we say, you don't even know whether or not exists. I say, show na no go wake up. Now the game matter be this. If even though I don't know, they don't Ibrahim Traore don't talk and say everybody we dey obodo oyinbo say na omo Burkina Faso na come on. Me myself, they be like say I want japa go that side. Now Dudu Spirit they do on www.duduspreeofficial.com. Thanks everybody staying with us, listening to us, watching us, and following us bumper to vendor. Africa na our home. We will, we must, and we will actually fix it. Ibrahim Traore, a good one to you. And he's actually bringing something new to the continent of Africa. If you never hear, what did they talk? We say, it all say now the latest and new communism in go do. It's going to show us communism in another way, in another manner, in another color, in another everything. So as the matter come they be, they go, they ask you, say, shey una no go wake up. This one na Burkina Faso. I dey look forward to every other part of Africa. But like I say, before I waka dey go, before I waka comot, the challenge wey Vladimir Putin throw give all of us, e dey there. Vladimir Putin, wetin you talk now? Be like say e dey vex for us, Egba.
Rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatments. He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome or Mecca. His children study in Europe. He travels to Canada, the USA, and Europe for tourism. When he dies, he will be buried in his native country. Africa is a cemetery for Africans. How then can a cemetery
This
be
is
developed?
Duduspreeofficial FM on African
Africa
radio.
is a cemetery.
This is Duduspreeofficial FM on African radio.
Thank you very much, our ajokeade family. Now, so in I don't hear them now. That is our very own ajokeade giving us the wake-up call. Africa is actually a burial ground. If you think about it, I saw this video one time, and then I felt offended. Then I was not yet a speaker in the African Youth Parliament. So I was not even a member of Dudu then. So but since oh, I don't change you. Okay, but say then I was not a member of Dudu. The reason why I laughed is because I just thought I had a flashback of how far I have come. I was comparing then versus now. Then I used to be so oblivious of the truth, of the actual facts and figures and things that are going on in the world. It's always like so, but now I have now known that there's a lot to, and there are things we have to take attention, like we have to pay attention to. Now, Africa being a cemetery, it is true. We pray to the God of the Romans, the God of the Jews, the God of Israel, proudly. We claim to be Israelites. Some people claim to be Arabians. Give our children the Arabic names, force them to learn the Arabic language, and so on and so forth. We do not produce anything. My brother was still having a joke today. He was running it. It's a joke, but it is the truth, but it was funny, so that's why I called it a joke. He said, Africa is the only continent where they bring down a company and build churches in their place. Then when he said it, something clicked in my brain. I was like, Otonio. And then at the end of the day, in Nigeria currently, pastors are competing for the largest congregation, competing for the largest auditorium, biggest, most beautiful auditorium. They will tell you that they are proud of it. They are proud to say that, in our own and the whole of Bariga. Like, what the hell happened to you? They are so proud of how big the church is, how rich their own general overseer is, and meanwhile, they are building schools that people can attend. There is no growth, there's no development in the country. I was still telling someone that gas, 1 kilogram of cooking gas is now 1,000 naira. I remember those days when I used to buy it for 250, and now it is 1,000 naira. You understand? And I'm like, well, see how far we've gone, see how painful things are, and you're still boasting about Africa does not produce anything, not even that cooking gas we're just talking about. Now, that is now. So, but once upon a time, Africa was so good. And today, you won't believe it, ajokeade, you will see, I was watching a video today, and I was like, damn, so Africa did this. An African in Africa was performing a brain surgery. And in this brain surgery, he did it, and the person was conscious. Wait, I still have the video. The person was conscious. He was performing the brain surgery. During the brain surgery, the person stood up to eat. And after eating, went back to continue. The person being operated on stood up to eat. And after that, he went back and they